Hi, welcome to another video. For those who haven't seen me, this is what I look like. I don't normally appear this side of the camera anymore. I haven't got a tripod. So I drove from here, South Yorkshire, down to Dover, caught the ferry DFDS to Dunkirk, France, stayed in Lille, went across the border Belgium, Netherlands, stayed in Germany, Düsseldorf. Then we went down to Cologne. I forget the other cities. Frankfurt was one, old Nuremberg, and caught some of the festival. Recorded some of the festival on video and my crappy iPhone 11 Pro. The audio's played up, so that's now in a shop being repaired. From Nuremberg we went down to Munich, lovely city, and from there went to Austria. Spent 2 days in Innsbruck in a Peugeot e208 electric car. So I got my bank statement and wrote down the 22 times I charged the car at roughly £20 a go. Some were less, some were more. I'm going to go through the cost. So this video isn't just for the people with electric cars, it's for the newbies who know nothing about electric car and contemplating getting one. And my ex-wife also wants to know the details. So I'm going to go through it in enough detail for you to get the grasp. So first of all, this country here in the UK, Boris Johnson amongst others want to stop the production of petrol and diesel cars by 2030. However, hybrids are allowed to be manufactured in this country until 2035. Hybrids have their advantages, I'll discuss that later. So this is the back end of my Peugeot e208. It's a 2-year-old car, but I've had it 2 weeks. It's a 50 kilowatt battery. So for those who don't know about electricity, you don't have to know. So after 2 hours of driving with this Peugeot, you will have covered roughly 100 miles. That will have used 27 to 30 kilowatts from that 50 kilowatt battery. And just for reference, so I don't get pulled up later, the specification on this particular Peugeot, 50 kilowatt battery, only 46 kilowatts are usable. If you've used 27 to 30 kilowatt hours, so let's just forget the hours, let's just keep it simple. If you've used 27 to 30 of the 50, you need to put 27 to 30 back in. And the more you pay for your car, the faster you can put that back in. This Peugeot is limited to roughly 50 kilowatt hours. So if the battery was totally empty, it's going to take you 1 whole hour to put 50 kilowatts back in over a 1 hour period. The fancy high-end cars like your BMWs, Audis, Mercedes, Porsche, I saw 3 Porsche Taycans on our trip. They can all recharge at a super high rate, much greater than 50 kilowatt hour. In one of the pictures, I'm not sure if I can find it, a 450 plus Mercedes, when he first plugged it in, it started at 176 kilowatt hours. In 19 minutes, he had put 50 kilowatt hours into his Mercedes. It took me 40 minutes to put 30 kilowatt hours in. So 40 minutes for me to fully charge my battery, 19 minutes for the Mercedes to put the entire capacity of my battery into his Mercedes. This is the high-end Mercedes. It's an EQS 450 plus and it looked very nice as it pulled in. You can't see in this photo, but under here were LED lights. The handles lit up white and these blue lights flashed on and off when the car was charging. But as I say, in 19 minutes he had charged 50 kilowatt hours. It took me 40 minutes to put in 31 kilowatt hours. So that's the benefit of having a newer and certainly high-end car. You can charge them rapidly, just like the Teslas. You can put in 350 kilowatt hours into a Tesla. So 350 kilowatt hours in 1 hour. My car, only 50. I'm not sure the rating of these high-end cars. There was this 450 plus Mercedes. We saw an i4 BMW that was fast charging. 3 Porsche Taycans, fast charging. My little old Peugeot, slow. Right, this picture I've zoomed in so unscrupulous people can't see my number plate. Not sure if this was Germany or Austria, but for the newbies, if the machine is modern, you can simply take a modern bank card and put it up near the scanner in the middle here. Put it up there and it will start your charging, and when it's finished it will just bill your bank. That's what this government wanted. However, in this country, people like Shell, here we are, Shell Recharge, Shell, Mer, all the McDonald's charges in this country, they all need separate RFID cards like this, and you have to take each individual card and put it up against their machine. It's ridiculous. The best card I found was this one, Octopus Electroverse. You simply put this up against the machine, Octopus Energy and this Electroverse, they are signed up with maybe 20 odd energy suppliers or car chargers, and you just need this one card, and 99% of the chargers I use in the UK, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany and Austria, this card worked. But I didn't realise until we were down in Nuremberg or Munich, and I thought I'd give this card a go, and it worked. And I've later established the Electroverse app has a map and it includes all of Europe, unlike the Zap map, which you may have heard of. Zap map only seems to be fixed here in the UK. This is worldwide, and it's a fantastic card, and I recommend if you've got an electric car and you haven't got one of these cards, go and get one. Octopus Electroverse, fantastic. So as I said, this is my old iPhone 6S. I've got an 11, but I'm very disappointed the audio went wrong. Right, Electroverse app, I put it back onto this phone just now. Most of these red dots were charging coming home, because I only established down here that the Electroverse app worked in Europe. And you can see here, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 charges in Europe, and one up here near my home. That's South Yorkshire, is a bit further up, but this screen's all knackered. You can see why I need a new phone. Yeah, unfortunately you can't zoom into the map, but this charging history map shows where you use the card. So we went South Yorkshire, Dover, Dunkirk, stayed in Lille, through Belgium, Netherlands, to Düsseldorf in Germany, which is somewhere here, can't see it. Yeah, Düsseldorf, then down to Cologne, then Frankfurt, Nuremberg, I don't know if that's over here somewhere, Nuremberg, Munich, then straight down into Innsbruck, Austria. For Germany, you don't need any special paperwork or anything. If you're driving to Austria, be warned, if you want to drive on their motorways are classed as toll roads, and you need to find a post office, presumably over there, and spend roughly £10. That will give you a 10-day pass, and you can spend more for longer stays. If you don't have that certificate put in the windscreen, their automatic cameras will catch you out, or maybe the police will catch you out and you'll get fined. That's just Austria. Germany, France, Belgium, Netherlands, all okay. But you might have seen I did a video. I drove my old diesel to Paris. My old diesel was clean enough for the centre of Paris. You need a clean air certificate to drive through Paris. Oh, talking about clean air, Austria, or many of the roads in Austria, are clean air zones, so you do need a Euro 4 petrol or Euro 6 diesel. If you're travelling to Austria and you've got an old vehicle, check that you're allowed to take it wherever you want to go. So this is the charge history for the Electroverse. Definitely get this card. Right, what I haven't got, because this is the old phone, this Zap map will give you charges here in the UK. And very few abroad. You see the odd one down there? Is that the Channel Islands, or yeah, Guernsey and Jersey? So you can see Zap map is no good travelling on the continent. Electroverse has the map for the whole of Europe and many other countries besides. So if you just want to stay in the UK, Zap map is okay, except I think to get the full benefits you have to pay £30 a year. We bumped into a couple from the Netherlands and she recommended, and I do recommend it too, Plug Surfing. Plug Surfing is a free app and it tells you where all the chargers are. I believe some in the UK, but all the chargers on the continent. This is one of the petrol stations in Austria, and there's the chargers and the Austrian Alps in the background. Here's a quick look at another charger in Germany. If I zoom into this, there's my Peugeot with my son sitting in the passenger seat. You'll see this charger, it's rated at 50 kilowatt hour. So that's, if your battery is totally empty, you'd have to wait 1 hour to fully charge it up, 50 kilowatt hour. Most of the time I had consumed 20 to 30 kilowatt hours, but to fully charge the battery, including the last 10%, you've got to wait 40 minutes. These Porsche Taycans can wait 10 minutes on a fast charger. This guy's on a slow charger, but if I flick to another picture, this is that same car, and this is another Taycan over there, and these are fast chargers. But unfortunately I can't see the kilowatt hour. But so he's having a fast charge, and a fast charge, or the hyper charge, whatever they're called, yeah, it costs more money. The slower chargers generally costs 55 to 75 pence, 55 cents to 79 cents per kilowatt hour. So if you want 50 kilowatts, you have to pay 50 times like 55 or 79 pence, or 55 or 79 cents. Right, so here's the scrap of paper, or an envelope. I copied all the prices from my bank statement. Starting off in the UK Instavolt, £19.56 first charge. This is the Plug Surfing app. You can see we only paid £11.81 via the app. So with all the apps you can add either Apple Pay or your bank card. So £11.81, so you can see it didn't need much charge. Instavolt UK, £13.07. So obviously this surfing app were quicker to charge my bank than Instavolt UK, because I didn't go to Germany and then come back to the UK. So Instavolt UK, £30.07. GridServe, I believe this is the M11, only one of the 3 chargers were working, £20.35p, and I had to wait 45 minutes to get on that charger. However, next door to Costa Coffee, there were a good 8-10 chargers waiting to be commissioned. So maybe it's already done, or next week there will be plenty of chargers at the end of the M11. Sort of the last stop before Dover, although there are chargers near Dover. So Electroverse card, £21.07, that's the 5th charge. £17.88, £17.71, £17.50. So you can see I was letting the gauge on the car drop down to a certain reading, usually between 50 and 80 kilometers, which is over 30 miles. Being in a foreign country, not knowing when the next good charger is going to be available, you don't want to run the car flat. So that meant we were stopping many times. So yeah, £17, £17, £29, not sure if it's this one. I distinctly remember one of the chargers charging me 1.5 times more than everyone else. So £29, yet I hadn't used much electricity. So 29, 27, 13, 11, 20, 11, 20, 11, 31, that the car was running low at this point, and we desperately needed to find a charger, being in a foreign place. That was charge number 17. Each of these is roughly 40 minutes. Some of the £11 ones maybe only 20. So that 31, that was actually when I took the picture of the Mercedes. I had put in 30 kilowatt hours in 40 minutes. The Mercedes had put in 50 kilowatt hours in 19 minutes. So £19 here, £9.98 there, £22, £13.30 and £19.54, which was just up here in South Yorkshire the other day. That's a grand total of 2,300 miles, £401.78. Hopefully this camera's focusing. So £401, round it up to 402 for 2,300 miles. So that £401.78 English, 466 euros. But with my exchange rate, I've equated it to more like 450 euros, not 466. This was the filling station in Austria. Diesel Austria 1.699, but in my calculations, I've taken the average in Germany. So I've taken the average price in Germany, €1.61. Also, my video editing tool has gone wrong, so I probably won't know how to zoom into this lot, so apologies if you're looking at it on a small phone. So my exchange rate approx £1 gives you 1.12 euros. Total cost, all those stops, rounded up, £402. That's 450 euros at my exchange rate. So average German diesel per litre, 1.61 euros. With the figures I give you, you can obviously work it out for yourself. Hopefully I don't make any mistakes. So the German conversion, 450 euros divided by €1.61 equals 280 litres. That's 280 litres using the formula 4.546 litres per UK gallon. So 280 litres, 4.546 litres to a gallon, that's 62 UK gallons. 62 times an average in my old car, an average, now my stepson's got it, 56 miles per gallon. I could actually get more like 64, but we'll call it 56. 62 gallons times 56 miles per gallon equals 3,472 miles on diesel in my old car. So 3,472 miles with a fossil fuel engine diesel. My car only covered 2,300 miles using electricity. The difference between those two is 1,172 miles. So that means I could have saved, if you look at 56 miles per gallon, I could have saved 21 gallons. In euros, that's 7.319 euros per gallon, or 95.14 litres. That means in euros, 21 gallons, I could have saved 153 euros. In English pounds, if I was paying European prices for fuel, I could have saved £119 if I used my old diesel. And I could have saved more if I'd gone slower or got better miles per gallon than my stepson's getting. So don't forget my total price, £402 rounded up, or 450 euros. So diesel, yeah, £153. That is a big saving, and £119 is a big saving. My brother argues, but with these 22 stops, you've got to add roughly 40 minutes times 22 minus All the ones that are down at like 11, 12 pound, they're sort of 20-minute stops, not 40-minute stops. So 22 stops, roughly 40 minutes per stop. I know my old car got to Paris and back. It covered 1,000 miles. I got to Paris on one tank full of diesel from here in South Yorkshire. That was back in 2020. I did stop a few times, but not 22. People say, well, isn't the range on the Peugeot e208 218 miles approximately? Yes, if you want to run it flat. You do not run cars flat on a motorway and pay some foreign person to come and tow you off the motorway for a couple of €100. So I was always leaving 30 to 50 miles in the tank. So yes, if I wanted to risk more, I could have charged fewer times, but it still would have cost the same. If I charged fewer times, these like 13, 11, 21, 17, 17, 17 would have been over €20. So yes, I could have cut the stops down, but I would have still had to spend the same money to cover the 2,300 miles at £401.78. So my argument is, I heard someone on some catch-up show on the TV, I don't know what it was, and she said electric is cheaper to run. €153 saved, £119 saved if I had my old diesel. No, electricity is not. Electric cars, no, they are not cheaper to run. But then my brother argues, yeah, but take into the account how much I will spend on my car service, which is roughly £100. No oil to change, no timing belts, no spark plugs. No, forget all that. Once the car's out of warranty, the maintenance is very cheap. Only new cars where you have to pay dealer prices are the services expensive, although they are limited on electric car because there's not much they can do. So yeah, in many years I will save on servicing costs, but look at the increase in running costs for electric, and that's assuming the electricity doesn't go up. The electricity prices fell in July, but all your people like GridServe, Instavolt, I forget all the others, BP, Shell, there's hundreds, or maybe 20 or 30, none of them have reduced the price. People say you can charge at home, so my current cost of electricity per kilowatt hour has come down from 32 pence per kilowatt hour to 29 pence per kilowatt hour. And it's, so if I bring the calculator down here so you can see it, so 0.29 times, let's say 50 kilowatt hours, that's £14.50 to fully charge that car from home, except a normal home charger would charge in up to 7 hours. A 13-pin plug would take 24 hours. So yes, if I can charge at home, £14.50 to keep that car fully charged from empty, except you can't actually empty it because, as I said at the beginning of the video, it's a 50 kilowatt hour battery, only 45 to 46 are usable. So it costs you less than £14.50, but I do not have a drive. However, there is an Aldi store just 4 or 5 miles away. It's only a 7 kilowatt hour charger. Their unit rate is not 29, it's 25. But then a similar Aldi, just a few miles up the road, is something like 33. So there's no consistency between shops or filling stations. Everyone charges a different price. Are electric cars cheaper? No. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Are they inconvenient? Yes, because you have to stop multiple times. As the Porsche Taycan drivers, they all said, you want to race your car at 140, 160 mile an hour down the Autobahn, you have to charge up sooner. My car, I drove religiously at 105 kilometers an hour, which is roughly 66. I changed my speedo, my dash, to kilometers so I could comply with the Autobahn speeds. And whilst I mentioned Autobahn speeds, here's a good example of a contraflow in Germany, thanks to someone on the internet. These are usually limited to 80 kilometers per hour. I didn't see any cameras or even any police with speed cameras, and many German drivers do break the speed limit. So on autobahns you do get speed limits 80, 100, 120, 130, and then you'll have a white disc, 2 diagonal lines, means you can go at whatever speed you like. And all the fast BMWs and Audis and Mercedes take advantage of those speeds. Little old me stays in the inside. But since we have this Autobahn, notice the line colours change to yellow, but look at this white line through here. What do you think lane assist in Peugeot do when they see this white line crossing the line? When they see this white line crossing your track. My Peugeot e208 will pull the steering out of your hand and force you either into the other cars or into these barriers. I'm surprised the system is allowed to be fitted to e208s. Coming into roadworks like this, it's dangerous. And it's not like the user manual tells you to turn off the lane assist. There isn't a user manual with this e208. You have to get online and search for stuff online on the Peugeot apps. So it's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, this white line, the lasers behind the mirror will track this white line and put you into a car or a barrier. So a word of advice: if you're travelling to Europe and you encounter roadworks, turn off your lane assist. I think it's dangerous, and I'm surprised it's allowed to be fitted to cars. So how far can you drive in your electric car? Well, these are the Austrian Alps, and there's some low-level cloud. And this is my Peugeot e208. A lovely, comfortable, very quiet car. It looks the business, I feel. So wrapping this up, as I said, my car's got a 218 mile range when new. The car's 2 years old. The range is now roughly 190 miles when charged with a fast charger. Whether that increases slightly on a slow charger, I don't know. I could safely drive to the coast and back on one charge. You want to venture out farther than your rear garden, you're going to have to pay public charge prices. The charging in this country, I hear a lot of criticism. I've not found too much of an issue. On the continent they still had chargers not working, but on the whole Germany were actually a lot better than the UK. But you've got proper German engineering, what can I say? Or French engineering, because my car's French, not German. So yeah, South Yorkshire, Dover, Lille we stayed in, somewhere here. Yeah, through Belgium, through the Netherlands. If I zoom in a bit, there's the cities. I can drop this camera down, hopefully it's still focused. Yeah, Lille, we stayed there, Lille. Yeah, through Brussels, Netherlands. Stayed in Düsseldorf the night, then down to Cologne. Not sure if we stayed there the night. Beautiful city. I think, yeah, that's where the big, massive cathedral is. Then we drove down to Frankfurt. I don't think we stayed in Frankfurt, but we might have. Yes, in fact, we did stay in Frankfurt because the hotel billed us for the bottle of water that was in each room. I said, so generous to, bill us for water. The coffee capsules were free. The water, you had to pay €3. Thank you, Frankfurt. Everywhere else was free. Yeah, drove down to Nuremberg, special for many reasons, not going to go into now, but lovely city. Then down to Munich. Munich is expensive. And then down to Innsbruck. We stayed at this, was it Tivoli Hotel. And the funny thing is, a bit of trivia, that's in the Alps, or in a valley in the Alps. Innsbruck Airport is just a few kilometres, either left or right of here, and you could see planes flying past the hotel window. So I could have bought a Kia EV6, 320 mile range from full to flat, which gives you a good 280 miles usable driving distance. That car's a £40,000 car for the entry level, 50,000 or more for the top level. Teslas, they're £40,000 second hand. Yeah, they're one of the best selling electric cars because of the 300 mile range. Although speaking to someone, he said 260 is still superior to my new e208. But yeah, many high-end cars like BMWs, Mercedes, but you're looking at 50, 60, 70,000 pound upwards, and most families would not be able to afford that. Most families, or 2/3 of the UK, I understand, do not have driveways, and I don't either. So I'm stuck with public charging. For now, if you're interested in going slightly green, I would recommend you have a look at the hybrids. The Yaris hybrid, really lovely car to drive, and the Kia Niro hybrid, nice car to drive as well. I'm actually contemplating getting rid of the Peugeot and getting a Niro. That way I could have got to Germany, 1 or 2 stops for, a break and coffee, and down to Austria, 4, 5, 6 stops tops, not the 22 to get there and back. Hopefully it's given you some insight what you can do with an electric car, where you can go. This is my car in the valleys of Austria. You can go as far as you like, but you'll have to stop many times. Hopefully you found this interesting and informative. Thanks for watching. Please leave some comments.